pretend, and I wanna do more than talk. I guess that you can call us friends, but that's not what I want at all. Get into the space I'm in. I wanna do more than talk. I'm not feeling conversational. I don't really wanna play it cool. Take this to another level. More than talk. Go ahead and make it feel comfortable. So you think you never be wanting know. As long as you take this to another level. Skittering on the edge of your shirt, wondering who will make the move first, making me forget I've been hurt. I've never been so bold or reckless. Now we're running out of words, overturning tables we turn, throwing out the things that I've learned. Cross the line and take my chances. And baby, thinking this is it. Either it's right or wrong, but I've already pictured it, and I wanna do more than talk. Nothing like a crazy risk to give me what I really want. Get into the space I'm in. I wanna do more than talk. I don't really wanna play it cool. So take this to another level. More than talk. Go ahead and make it feel comfortable. So you think you never knew you wanted now. As long as you take this to another level. You can be the stars, you can be the stars for me. Show me that you love me like the sky so I can see. Tell me something I don't know, take me where I never go. I wanna know what it'd be like to disappear for a night. You could be the stars, you could be the stars for me. Show me that you love me like the sky so I can see. You could be the stars, you could be the stars for me. Show me that you love me like the sky so I can see. Waste your nights in bars, but save the last drink for me. Untouchable and shining fire, you scatter like the galaxies. You call me up when it gets late again, like I'm supposed to know where you've been. Oh, but it doesn't work that way, no matter what you say. Aren't you until the end? You can be the stars, you can be the stars for me.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, with map 2 of our lowers finals this evening. If you've missed the previous game, it was unfortunate, back and forth from both sides, but it did go the way of Blackhand in the end.
You could say that Blackhand at the start were beaten Black and Blue Lagoon. There we go,
no.
we got it in.
Oh, Jesus.
But moving on swiftly, yeah, Blackhand, whilst they did have a very tumultuous start, they somehow, some way, managed to win a crucial turn point round in which I think it was Fraser's Desert Eagle picked up 3-1 digs in incredibly fast succession, flipped it on its head, and the economy was just shattered for the side of Temperate. They couldn't recover themselves, they couldn't recover the money, and they couldn't recover the game. 6 rounds in a row as a streak after that, and 16-14 as a finish. A disastrous scoreline for a Temperate in the lead.
Yes, it was a bit of a weird game to say the least, but I think that it was very good for Blackhand because of the fact that obviously they started down 0-6 at the beginning of that game, right? And we were kind of talking about how we didn't agree with their decision-making in terms of economy. Well, at least things worked out in the very end. Because
it's
otherwise,
all right on the night.
Yeah, otherwise it would have been really disappointing had they lost their map pick as a result of some mismanaged economy. It's okay though, like you say, some heroic plays from Fraser, and also, you know, not just that, they manoeuvred themselves fairly well in their man disadvantages, I thought. There were some situations where they lost a man early on. Obviously, Dexter was having quite a hard map. He wasn't really having too much impact whenever we saw the AWP in play.
Hey, he had that one round where he
that
sat
one round.
short for the whole 1 minute 30.
That's true. Zulu as well with that insane ace from that side of the map as well. He did an insane job. The individuals did show up when they were called upon at certain periods of time for the Blackhand side, so at least they had that going for them. Now we find ourselves on Nuke, ladies and gentlemen. That'll be the next map for us here, and this of course is now the map pick of the Temperate side. Blackhand starting on the T side, and hopefully we'll be finding ourselves... Oh, sorry, the teams that are the wrong way around currently. Blackhand are on the CT side right now, but they will be getting flipped around for you just momentarily. That's why our pretty faces are back on the screen so that we can sort that out for you. I've managed to find myself a nice little necklace in the meantime.
My wrists are too fat to fit one round. It's really sad, actually. I don't know, big wrists, big for deadlifting, but not so good for putting cheap plastic around.
Unfortunate.
It is very sad, but again, I can wash my tears away with this lovely blue lagoon as Temperate can wash away the bomb site of Blackhand. The A site is open for business, and by God, a nade into heaven tries to send two straight up to God himself as Dexter and Timo, well, they're looking pretty low in the HP department, and also the chances of Blackhand winning this one dwindling by the number as Fluffs. Oh, he's going to bag two more for good measure. Fraser now peeking on out of A main, will catch Emmy, will get Mr. Hoy. My goodness, the pistol prowess is prominent. But the alliteration might be clean. The pistol frag for Blackhand. Oh, they're even cleaner, it seems, as Chalster. They'll be tapping the bomb as well. It's all down to MMS in the 1v1. He's just got to play the timer, but a defuse kit has been picked up. Not that it's going to matter as MMS recovers things cleanly. Well, I say cleanly. Recovered things in the best way that he possibly could in a scenario presented to him. And Temperate, again, they win the opening round and give us a heart attack in the process.
Yes, absolutely. LaFluffs, just Fluffs now. His name previously was LaFluffs. He done great work there getting the entries, a couple of kills as well just to defend the bomb site, and I love that little touch with the HE. Well aware of the fact that the rotating players on the CT side are going to go up into heaven, do the little one-way smoke trick that we see so commonly. The nade lands just at their feet and chips them down to below half HP apiece on a pistol round as well. That is so significant. So a great pistol round overall. It did get a bit hairy, but it's okay. It went the way of Temperate. Now they are fully invested into the round as expected after that round win. We see Blackhand as well, though. Got themselves a scout, an MP9 in the hands of Zulu, and Fraser on the Deagle. Perhaps we could see some heroics once again here, Sneaky.
We do have to quickly give credit where credit's due to Fraser and Jouster again, though. Like, they almost clinched that pistol round. It was down to the wire, and hopefully that's given them some individual confidence coming into the early stages of this Nuke game. They can't quite capitalise off of the, well, small momentum they bring with them from the previous map. But with goodness me, sorry, we can hear Valorant next door, and Jay is just screaming his head off. I'm sure if you watch Counter-Strike, you know who the fabulous Eternal Jay is, but Dexter knows exactly what Temperate are planning to do now, as with his scout, as the smoke fades, catches a glimpse of two of these Ts as they aggress down towards Secret. Fraser, he waits patiently. As these players start to make noise, he will not catch the first as Regan entries, but Chauster does finish the job. Can't find a double, though, as MMS seals the deal for Dexter. Timo, just cut off by the door. He's seen a lot of door play today.
Yeah.
As it is now a 4v2 in the post plant. And that's great stuff from Fluffs. A nice long-range kill as well to seal the deal.
Yeah, great work there from Temperate. They got themselves calmly down into the lower secret tunnels. They didn't rush themselves. They knew that they had the advantage in terms of weaponry, even against the force buy from the CT side, and they traded effectively. So what more can you ask for in a situation like that?
Well, the one problem was that Dexter actually knew this was the exact play that was going to happen. So the fact that Temperate do win it so convincingly is just more testament to how well drilled they look as a squad here on their own map pick. Things got messy on Vertigo, but again, this is where they really need to prove themselves as a solid roster. As Mr. Hoy, well, he does take a little bit of early damage here, as he's already down to 22. Not the best start to a round, but at the same time, it is still up against just 5 USPs and some scraps of utility.
Dexter spotted out in the garage as well. A nade perhaps over the top to seal the deal. It doesn't get a kill, but it deals significant damage onto the unarmored opponents in Timo and Jouster. So in round 3, there's no investment from the CT side, bar a flash and a smoke. What they'd like to use that for, we're about to find out. The flash goes through, but it's the clean-up squad on the Temperate side. MMS farms himself a nice little bit of cash as well. And Fraser, perhaps preempting a B-bomb site finish for the Temperate side, has got himself down here nice and early. Unfortunately, not the right call, though. He's down here on a bit of an island. They've gone A, and he's just making noise. Come and kill me, please, guys. Get this round over and done with. If you could get a kill, at least $300 in the back pocket, force a rebuy, but realistically, you've got 5 alive right now. The economy's not going to be affected too much for the Temperate side.
I mean, talking of bonus cash, talking of $300, it's $800 now for Temperate as they do get that bomb planted, and with Regan catching Fraser as well, nothing is saved over for Blackhand, so whilst they can buy into this one, there's no AK, that little perk up gift. There's a, well, limited utility on Jouster. I say limited, it's not the end of the world, he is just missing. In fact, no, he's not. He's just, alright then, cheers Jouster.
Also dropped one over.
Yeah, decides to get dropped a flashbang from, I believe it was Fraser. As Zulu now deploys utility of his own towards Squeaky, but Blackhand again overwhelmed on this A-bomb site. Timo does catch one, Dexter a second, but Regan and Fluffs, they're hot for some frags of their own. The A-bomb site still remains in control of Temperate, and Jouster, he's being very passive as Fraser is the one to start things off, and Zulu bags another. Fluffs in a dire strait, and Jouster, his patience is rewarded. Great kill to find, and a first on the board for Blackhand in a round that really matters.
Yeah, a difficult situation for Temperate there in their post-plant. They didn't really have control of main, which they had planted for. Immediately, the Blackhand boys were there behind those smokes to prepare themselves to go for the retake, and it's worked out in their favour. The trades go their way. They put their first CT round on the board, and they're looking to go 2 for 2 on gun rounds here coming into this one. However, we see Emmy finally with the AWP in play now. Well, I say finally with 4 rounds in. This is round number 5, but hopefully we can see him get some influential frags here to kick off this round. Another play fast into the A-bomb site. Hoy's been completely overlooked. Zulu and Fraser to trade, and there's Emmy's AWP. 2 kills in the kill feed for him. Some early impact as soon as the gun comes out, but a failed Molotov may be the difference maker here. Blackhand, they want to force the issue straight
He's
away.
landing on him. Oh my God!
He's landed straight on the head of Hoy. Caught pants down, but Emmy closes the door on the retake, and a successful hit into that upper bomb site for Temperate.
Never a dull moment with Temperate and Blackhand, it seems, as the rounds are just so damn frantic. Every time we have a post-plant, pandemonium ensues. I think without fail, in this entire series so far, it's very rare that we just see a save call. It's all about going for every round, trying to clinch everything you possibly can, regardless of the deficit that it'll leave you in. And Fraser, we know he's nutty with the Desert Eagle. He continues to prove that point, but still 4v5. With a heavy advantage for Temperate with the guns they're bringing to the table. But Fraser, oh, surely not again. He's looking for a headshot towards the red box, but it's red letter day instead. Forced away as Zulu is unable to pick up the slack.
This is an interesting position right now because, of course, yes, as you say, the weaponry advantage does lean the way of Temperate. Obviously, they've traded that kill back now, and they've only got 1 player on the A-bomb site. Hoy's just cracked this round straight open. It could have been interesting had Blackhand repositioned, perhaps tried to play off their trades with the lesser weaponry, but things just didn't go their way this time round. They couldn't get into positions that they needed to early enough. They've got plenty of money to buy up in the next round if all of these 3 players go down. So if I'm Blackhand, I say go for kills here. See if you can do some damage. Force rebuys on a few of these T-side players because this is a CT-sided map here, Sneaky. Temperate, they're about to put their 5th T round on the board with only 6 rounds of play so far. It's looking very good for them on their map pick.
I mean, arguably 5 rounds is the lower benchmark just there. Does he have enough time
Okay.
here? No, that's very unfortunate, but he will still be going hunting. And as Jouster makes it to the rooftop, he can find 2 frags here. Oh, that's so unlucky. But look at that with a millisecond left of life. Does decapitate poor MMS. He has no idea what hits him. He may even have thought that was the bomb that sealed the deal, but no. A nice, clean, quick headshot from the 5-7 as bodies ragdoll.
I bet he jumped out of his skin there. They thought they were safe. He just takes one to the back of the head.
Man, just, I mean, it's a valiant effort to pick up the double, but literally the timing, it just eludes him. Fraser, though, something else that eludes him is MMS, who's already made it down to secret. And with Fraser spamming on through, he now knows that he's walked past a player. And unlike the plays we saw earlier, the lurk plays where everyone was walking past each other outside, instead they're walking into each other on the A bomb site, and the lurker will have very little to do, as it's just Emmy getting shut down by Dexter before I can even try and analyse this round. It's over in a flash. A tragic round for Temperate there.
I can see what the idea behind that round was for Temperate. They lay down the outside smokes, they send MMS down there making loads of noise to try and sell the idea that they're planning to go for a lower bomb site take, and then they send in the utility elsewhere. They go for the upper hit, but Blackhand, they seem to have their number in that round. They were set up very well on that upper bomb site. They shut down the hit as it comes in, and MMS finds himself in a lurk position, which is essentially useless, right? The rest of the boys hit the ground. So a pause called at this stage, and I'm going to have to assume it's Temperate that have called this one after the round lost. Perhaps they want to re-discuss what the plan really should have been in that round, figure out what the issues were.
But I mean, I'm glad that they're actually calling them as well.
Yes.
Because that was one of my issues with the previous map. Both teams waited way too long to start calling their timeouts. And, well, with round number 8 coming into fruition here, yeah, that was definitely the right time to use your first. I believe it is 4 timeouts of 30 seconds apiece called by both teams here, or available to call for both teams here. But Temperate, they don't want timeouts, they want T rounds, as Blackhand, well, they're looking to put a solid stop to that early doors. And, well, Blackhand, they're pretty good at coming back on their CT side, as we learnt on the previous map. But will they be able to do it again?
Oof, well, that's a very good question, my friend. Dexter on the AWP once again. He struggled to find impact with the big green gun in hand on our previous map of Vertigo. However, Nuke, a very AWP dominant map, especially when it comes to patrolling that outside and lower halls area. It can be very, very strong. You can also move him around. We see the way Simple plays this map. He is like, everyone moves around him, right? He can decide mid-round wherever he'd like to go. Everybody on the Na'Vi side shifts around him.
A cheeky no-scope in Vent as well, as quite privy as MMS. Well, he doesn't need a scope to find Fraser. Catches him off guard outside as Dexter... Oh, the timing. That's unreal. He goes back for the repeat, but they've both just gone into a main. If they catch Timo, that AWP drop-off could be so damn costly, but that is an impeccable crossfire from Blackhand. A great recovery in the round, and Dexter finds himself in exactly the right place in the right time. What goes around comes back around, and that's certainly true for Dexter as he does a full circle of the Hell Ladder.
Yeah, unfortunate timing for Dexter as he moves out of his position outside, but at the bare minimum, he got information that the A-split was coming in through main. He manages to get himself in a good spot to pick up 2 frags in this round as well. So good job from him. Emmy, the last man remaining with an AWP in hand, of course, is going to want to bring this one forward as the buy for Temperate is now in a very sticky situation. You have to consider the fact that their loss bonus isn't really so heavily stacked up yet, and they will call a pause to make sure they discuss this one properly. An argument can be made to just go for the full save here, and an argument can be made to go for the full investment. But we've lost a player. Where's he gone? We've just lost one of the main players from the Temperate side. We've got Hoy, MMS, Fluffs, and Regan. Who's gone missing? Who's gone walkabout?
I don't know why the name Shuby came into my head there.
Well, because he used to play for Temperate.
Well, that would be why. Yeah. Oh, God, I've had a mind blank. It's not Shuby, it's someone else. Moving on very quickly. I'm so sorry. I am meant to know these things, but it's been a long day. We're coming into our second map of the final best of 3 of the day. But to make it up for you, you get to see our wonderful faces again. I am Sneaky, aka the Jesus impersonator. So yeah, I've taken aspiration from Jay. Jay is out there with the dark-coloured hair version of what I'm rocking right now. And Icon, I mean, you're just looking fabulous regardless, darling.
Oh,
the
thank you,
necklace,
son.
it really fits the attire, it fits the aesthetic of Epic Land.
Yeah.
And was it Mr. Hoy that we were forgetting?
No, Hoy was in the server. It was Emmy that dropped out.
The
And
AWPer as well, an
yeah.
important piece, but the AWP has thankfully been picked back up with a round reset. And as things get back into play, Temperate with their 2-round lead will be looking to cling on to it, but with a very disadvantageous buy. And Emmy actually dropping that AWP over to MMS.
He has the first spawn. That's the only argument that I can see that can be made to drop the AWP towards him here. So, where is he opting to go? He looks like he's headed for the early door peek towards main, but no CT players there for him to fight, unfortunately. Tosses it straight back over to Emmy, who, of course, is the main AWPer of this squad. And now the Temperate side, they look to group up outside. They've left Regan in the lobby position just to have a little hunt around, perhaps play alert, gain some information as to the CTs if they make any sound cues. But in this round, we are really looking for a hero performance from Emmy if we want to see Temperate take this one.
Yeah, Mr. Hoy will be the first man in, or at least it looked like it for a moment. Instead, the Pistols trying to bait out some shots so the AWP can trade them out for outside here. Meanwhile, a 3-man lethal-looking stack on this A site. Won't be able to spot anything going on towards outside. As Temperate, they've actually taken garage control. And they might be able to do something in the round with this. I don't want to try and build up too much of a storyline here because their weapon deficit is definitely evident. One upgraded pistol on Regan with the Deagle. Emmy does have that AWP. And we have seen crazier things happen. But look at this timing. The bomb going up to heaven and Fraser. Oh, he's inches away from seeing them
Timo's got no
in
idea.
his peripheral vision. And yeah, Timo, none the wiser. MMS, this position is perfect. But oh, Jalstare almost catches them off guard. But instead it's Zulu and Timo. And by God, what a shutdown as Emmy is left last alive outside with an AWP. And I have no idea why he doesn't go in with his team there.
I have to say, I think that Blackhand read into that situation. Even though Fraser didn't see a single thing there when he peeked outside, he didn't check on top of the rooftop. He could have communicated to his team that there's a gap there. And the AAA setup as well. Obviously, the player in Mustang wasn't facing in the correct direction, but they had 2 players on the A bomb site. 3 on the upper bomb site like that, you don't tend to see too often unless Blackhand, they just tried to throw a little spanner in the works, maybe play something that Temperate weren't expecting on a round like that. But anyway, that was just an eco round after all. The guns do come back out for the Temperate side, and hopefully we'll see a little bit more of a layered approach for them this time round. They've been loving the upper bomb site so far. I don't think we've seen them head down towards B just yet in this half. But this time round, the TTs are the ones who want to force the issue. They go fighting for control outside, and they've got the 2-for-1 trade that they were looking for. Zulu has dealt with Regan elsewhere as well, and Timo's got the information as to the position of this player fighting outside in the form of Hoy. So a great position for Blackhand right now. They look to take this round. Not 100%, but very likely.
Another thing of note is as Floss rattles off a couple of missed shots, Jalstare to cut him through to punish. Mr. Hoy does catch Jalstare to trade, but he's being rear flanked outside. It's a nice flick across from Mr. Hoy, but Zulu shuts him down. And the point I was going to make is that Emmy saves that AWP 2 rounds in a row, then gets no kills, no impact. And both of those rounds could have been opportunities to accumulate money if Emmy went down, but just withholding that AWP constantly, just back on 2,900, and admittedly that is in line with the economy of the rest of the Temperate players right now, so it isn't the end of the world. It just would have been nice to see that AWP at least get a kill in the 3 rounds it was saved over. Instead, it's Dexter's AWP to find Mr. Hoy, as Dexter is actually playing a lot more fluidly on the opposition's map. Picking, oh my God, where the hell did that shot come from? As Dexter decapitates MMS through the red box, flash over towards the outside position. Another peek from Fraser comes on in as Fluffs is blinded. And this is a great round from the side of Blackhand. Okay, I know it's up against the Pistols. I'm jumping the gun a bit here. But that was a really nice couple of shots from the AWP of Dexter. And hopefully that's going to get him his confidence back. As Regan, well, he is confidence peaked by Jalstare. And that's 6-5 now to the CT side, who recover things incredibly nicely with 5 rounds in a row. And Temperate, well, they're starting to struggle again against the CT side. If Blackhand puts 6 up on the board, it will be incredibly reminiscent of the previous map. and I don't know if they'll be able to mentally recover from it.
Yeah, this game's played out kind of unexpectedly. Temperate running away with it in the early stages of the half. They get their 5 rounds nice and early, and we made a comment of that at the time. Since then, they haven't done anything. They haven't had any success on either bomb site. The setups on the CT side from Blackhand have been great, but this time we do see Fluffs with an opening kill onto Fraser towards the ramp side of the map. Fraser going aggressive by the looks of where that body's landed. An interesting decision there for Blackhand early on. I'd like to see some sort of pivot in the positioning now that they've lost that man. Jouster headed away from the ramp. They're going to concede that control, and I definitely think that's the correct decision. Stacking up a bomb site and perhaps play retake if things don't go their way.
Yeah, and with A site definitely being the favoured site for this Temperate squad, it's certainly not out of order to stack towards the upper side of Nuke. But one thing I do want to point out is Fraser, despite a lot of deaths on his part, his frags have been pretty impactful, not just in this game, but throughout the entire series thus far. And Dexter, ooh, X-Ray, it's trolling me a bit there. Won't be able to catch a man outside just yet, but he's also been finding more impact than he's used to after what was a bit of an underwhelming first map performance. Now, as the double flashes rain out of the heart, Timo's not actually blinded at all, and as soon as I say that, another one rains on in. Mr. Hoy with a double, and Dexter forced to whip out a pistol for this one, and MMS seals the deal. An equalizer out the midst of nowhere as Temperate, they play with the pace, they change things up, and they explode onto that A-bomb site, destroying the unexpected Blackhand defense.
I tell you what, I was not expecting Temperate to come out with a win in that situation. Blackhand read the situation very well. They stacked the upper bomb site, they left ramp open, but the execute was perfect, right, from Temperate. The third flashbang absolutely whiting 2 of the defending players. And once again, Blackhand, they start with the advantage in this round. So, this time, sorry, not once again, actually. The last round, it was Temperate going a man advantage. This time, Blackhand take the man advantage. Fraser's aggression towards ramp has worked out this time round, and they look to continue pressing the issue, in fact. 3 players from the CT side. They want to force this lobby control by the way that their players are moving here.
I mean, Temperate win a fantastic team-based round, and then decide to go back to individual plays, and that immediately destroys them again, leaving solo players without the opportunity of trade in difficult positions, and with that it's already a 5v3. It's still recoverable, but barely for the 3 remaining Temperate players, and as Fraser's in an off angle, he's going to spray down 1, not quite the second, but heaps of damage dealt, and this round is already a lost cause. Mr. Hoy still dancing around with 27 points of health, but Dexter, oh, he doesn't want anything to do with this. Instead, sends a rifle out in his place. It's a game of trading, it's a game of patience, and Zulu has both. Nazemi falls and Jouster. Oh, have they just walked straight past him?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, Mr. Hoy, nice positioning, but not enough health to back it up, and unfortunately only good for a single frag. The economy of the CT side continues to boom. Dexter almost on $10,000 despite being on the big green, and Temperate, well, they're just not hitting the mark. Again, after a brilliant team play round, they go back to solo plays, and it really comes back to bite them.
Another pause coming in now for the Temperate side. The third pause, I believe, for them of this match already used in the 1/2 on the T side. They've got 6 rounds on the board already, which is very respectable for a map like Nuke. And the opportunity to, of course, even still win the half at this stage. So they're by no means in a bad position. Looking over at the other side of Blackhand now, we see the double AWPs are now in play. Fraser has one in his back pocket, as well as Dexter, the main AWP of the squad. And we've seen a lot of variation in Blackhand's CT side. What we've been lacking so far in this game is Temperate's ability to pressure down in the lower site. We've seen very little presence from them there. When they have gone for the outside smokes, they've only sent 1 player down, and that was unsuccessful as well. Since then, they faked the outside smokes, they've gone for the inner hits. Although it did work once, I don't see it continuing to work for them. This time, Emmy hits the ground first. Fraser's AWP has impact immediately as soon as he pulls it out. And the experience of Fraser really shining in this series so far. He's a player that's been around in the UK scene at the main advanced level for a very long time. Now, as we talk about the lower bomb site, Sneaky, that's where Temperate head.
Yeah, Jouster also showing his experience in that early rotation. They know there's an opportunity for two players to have crept on past, and oh, it's beautifully executed by the CT side. Another crossfire deals with Mr. Hoy and MMS, leaving us in a 5v2. As much as they have the right idea, Temperate, they switch it up. They don't account for the easily accountable, and Regan as well gets cut down by Zulu. Fluffs, he's just got to save in a scenario like this, surely. He's got almost full util armor and an AK, and as much as there is 40 seconds left to play with, I reckon he can still relatively easily recover this rifle into the next.
Well, there's full loss bonus here for the Temperate side, you have to remember. So if he goes down, he'll get a lot of cash given to him. If he stays alive, he will be able to drop a Galil. So the argument could be said for either way, right? But he goes down straight away. The loss bonus kicks in. Most of the players on the Temperate side are going to be able to get out a respectable buy, and Fluffs even has the cash to buy armor and an AWP, throw that one over to Emmy if that is the decision to be made. And in fact, it's not. They opt for the rifle instead. A couple of MAC-10s, and we may be seeing a fast play here.
Yeah, send the MAC-10s in first. Get them to do the dirty work. Get them to be the sacrificial lambs for the greater good of the round. And that's exactly what's going to happen. MAC-10 bursting out. In fact, no, that's the AKs they've sent out first, and Timothy is with all of them. Just their bags another. Fraser, one more. And this is the last round of the half. It's Emmy in a 1v5 with just a MAC-10. And Temperate, this is not what we want to be seeing from you. A replicated scoreline from the previous map, and Emmy does catch Dexter to start off this 1v5. But the Endeavour just seems like a bridge too far, and it certainly is, as Zulu seals the deal. Another 9-6 finisher. And Temperate, well, they will be flipping over to the preferred CT side now on their own map pick. But Blackhand, with the start that they've already had, can they continue what ended up being quite a hot streak?
Interesting situation. I would say 9-6 on a CT side, 9 rounds is the bare minimum you'd expect. 6 rounds on the T side is one more than the bare minimum that you would expect, I would say. So I would say Temperate are in a pretty good position right now if they're able to get this pistol round. That is all important for them here.
Yeah, that's a fair observation. We've seen just how impactful the pistol rounds have been thus far throughout the entire tournament, throughout the past couple of months in Counter-Strike. There's been a lot of decrying in terms of the economic changes that are required to make these pistol rounds less impactful, to make them fairer. It is such a gimmicky play. In fact, people are calling for their removal altogether, because as much as it is fun to watch a pistol round and the pandemonium that often ensues, the economic bonuses that come, especially out for that T side, if they win or lose, even with a bomb plant, can sometimes just be too much for a CT to bear the brunt of. MMS, though, oh, he can bear the brunt of Zulu quite nicely as he spins on into the hut. Down goes Zulu, decapitation central. There's Emmy. Oh, he misses a couple of opportunities there, as MMS does, thankfully, edge a two-man advantage. And it's another similar retake scenario for the CTs as there was previously, but Fraser catches an early kill onto Emmy this time, as MMS is doing all the work for the retake.
Amazing stuff so far in the round from MMS, and he's a player that needs to show up for the side of Temperate. He is one of the heavy hitters. We saw a bit of a quiet game from him on Vertigo, but he's come to play in this pistol round. Fluffs pulls out the suppressor in reaction, but it's okay. They've got the manpower, they've got the positioning, and they'll get themselves the all-important pistol round that we were alluding to. The bomb plant did, of course, go down, though. So, Blackhand, there's an argument to be made here that they could invest into the round. The only thing that influences that, however, is the fact that they only got 1 kill. That means that the money is not so much in their favour. They only get the 1 rifle out when you could normally see a few Galils in playing around like this. So they're going to have to hit some crispy shots with the Deagle of Fraser. We know what he's capable of. Jouster and Zulu on the MAC-10, so definitely speed to be a factor in a round like this. But not from the get-go. They're going to see if they can read into the positioning of Temperate first of all, and perhaps they'll go for a little bit of a ramp pop from the way they're poised, and Emmy turns away just at the wrong time. The fake has been laid towards that upper site, and the B bomb site, the only player here to defend is MMS from the decon position.
Already a great entry by Fraser, and MMS has been toyed with. The smoke actually blocked the door from opening in the right direction.
Wow.
And that forces him back into the room as Fraser's found himself a FAMAS for his troubles. And, oh my god, would you look at this? Nope, he's in the vent. I'm being trolled by the X-ray again. It's okay. Regan, though, decides not to force the affair towards single door. Instead, a three-man group up towards the double. As there is an impeccable crossfire on the actual bomb site itself. Regan does back Timo, but I think they're out of time. This is a Blackhound round through and through. There's no way they can lose this now. No. And Temperate, they're going to be kicking themselves.
Absolutely. That is such a slow attempt at a retake. Perhaps the Temperate boys weren't aware of the fact there wasn't a kit in play. MMS gets a couple of kills before going down to the bomb, but not the most influential thing in the world in a situation where both teams are going to have a bit of a sketchy buy here now. You see Fluffs, he's purchased up himself a cheeky MP9. There's still Galil's in play. A FAMAS has been picked up by Timo as well. And Jouster once again on that Mac 10. Success so far for Blackhand on the T side here of Nuke. As soon as we see a bit of a weird buy come out, they're able to win it. Temperate get the pistol round, they lose the following, and that is not what you want to see.
I mean, you know I love the Battle of the Four Spies, though, so secretly I do kind of want to see it, as it will be an interesting buy, to say the least, for both of our teams. But Blackhand definitely coming out on top in this engagement. Two Galil's, very unfortunate FAMAS pick up there for Timo, as I'm sure you're also familiar with. Not a big fan of that gun. I love a Galil, but FAMAS, I hope it's destroyed in a trash compactor in a galaxy far, far away. But as we continue down in round number 19, no, round number 18, I promise you I can do maths.
You've been struggling with the maths today.
No, I've just been struggling with everything.
The tip is, use your fingers. It tends to help.
I mean, even just waking up on time was a struggle.
Tell me about it. Well, I didn't wake up on time.
Wake up on time. Shout out to birthday boy B-Dog Brandon, as always. As well, he did cover that first map with me. Regan, my God, he sees. Does he actually see the back lane? Yeah,
he spotted them for sure. He's able to get the kill as well. Zulu trades though, so the favour so far in the hands of the T side until MMS shines from under heaven. Able to get the quick kill. Emmy good for a 1-for-1 as well, but the trades are going back and forth. Timo, the FAMAS reigns supreme, able to get those two trades. MMS though, AK in hand, he snuck out ahead of that utility, able to get the first kill, but the adjustment is not quite there. The 9 HP of Timo is all the difference between these two sides there. MMS, 3k in the round, does a lot of damage to the economy at the bare minimum, but Temperate, they have to concede here and go for a half buy at this stage.
Oh, it's the bloody FAMAS.
I know,
it's always
gets it
the
done.
Bloody FAMAS. We've seen Mister going nuts with it this tournament already, and it always seems to be 3Ks on Nuke of all godforsaken maps, but Fraser, already down the vent early, allows for Timo and Zulu to bag a frag apiece. This is astronomical stuff from the T side, and the bomb's already going down. Emmy's in the wrong place. And oh, it's just disaster after disaster for Temperate. Although Mr. Hoy, that is a nice frag.
You didn't catch that, but I saw it on the X-ray. Hoy and Jouster were like touching tips in the smoke.
Excuse me, Icon. This is a family show. But Timo,
hey, I didn't say the tip of what?
Well, tip of the rifle surely is. Excuse me, the USPs, that's 3 frags to them in this engagement. Well, Fluffs is left in a 1v2. There's no hope in the round for him, but he could at least go for another exit. And again, I apologise to all the families listening at home. You know, this is a HLTV broadcast.
You know, now. I've done an oopsie when the production team has their heads in their hands.
Oh, they love it. They love it. If we could turn the camera around, oh, you'd very much enjoy the debacle that we've seen on this side of the room today. We've had monster cans flying, we've had children crying, and we've had production just giggling away. And, well, Temperate no doubt head in hands as they are now 5 rounds down on their own map pick when they made the first so damn competitive. They threw away an opportunity at a 2-0, so they are now looking to redeem themselves with a reverse sweep, albeit a messy one as Mr. Hoy out of nowhere RKO's Timo through the smoke.
Yeah, a good start to the CT side round here for Temperate. Now it's up to Blackhand to answer back in this situation, and the answer for the time being seems to be a slow creep towards the ramp side. Off angle from MMS is good for a bit of chip damage, and the nade as well is a great bit of follow-up. The flash even halts the push for the time being, but Fraser still gets that entry kill. It looked like everything had gone perfectly for MMS in the situation, but still, Counter-Strike always comes down to a gunfight that you have to win, and he didn't. Now, Bomb going down, Sneaky, 4 versus 4 retake. Why don't you break this one down for us?
I mean, we saw how long that Temperate took to start the retake last time, and that was ultimately their demise, and that was against a much weaker buy than this. And with the perfect utility placement by Blackhound, it does hold them at bay, but Fluffs finds the entry. Zulu with the off-angle trade does not keep the advantage as Regan finds another and follows it up with 2 more. Regan, impeccable fragging from the man, and Orb is saved over for Emmy, and the bomb diffuser will come in, buying Temperate a lifeline. As soon as the T side hit 13, when the CT economy is a little all over the place, that's when you know it's going to be a tough comeback. But Temperate, they stopped the inevitable 13th from happening, and they stopped that 3-round in a row count. They buy themselves a chance of getting back into their own map pick, but they need to capitalize here and now, especially with it being Blackhand on the weaker buy. Tech 9, Mac 10, and despite the utility, it should still be Temperate's round to lose.
Absolutely. Early outside smokes being thrown by the Blackhand side, but they immediately pivot into the lobby position, perhaps going for the inside burst play, and in fact, Timo, the first man out, Mac 10 in hand, does plenty of damage, but the trades go back and forth. We find ourselves in a 2 versus 2, and a smoke towards main is going to allow for a safe plant for the time being. Emmy on the AWP, we know it's a tough weapon to go into a retake with, and he's taking his sweet time, making sure that nobody's trying any little smoke plays around that main smoke. 2 players right behind it though, and he's able to catch Fraser straight through the edge of that smoke as it fades. Dexter called upon in the 1 versus 2. Bomb planted for him, and MMS and Emmy are going to clear him. Emmy swapping out to the AK, gets it done, and a great retake from Temperate. The site defense was just enough to get things over the line for them. Now it's Blackhand whose economy has finally been shot to bits, and they have to consider going down to a half buy here in round number 22.
I think they might just try and even out their economy a bit by buying some more upgraded pistols, because they know they can do good damage with it. We've seen it especially from those Tech 9s. But what I did want to compliment Emmy on there is his switch over to the AK. Really well done, and he knew that he had a crossfire with the other CT retaker coming in from Squeaky. So overall, a really well played retake, a great 2v2 victory. And with that Temperate, again, they buy themselves that all-important lifeline, and Blackhand, you can already see them starting to second-guess their decisions as they're not able to thread further rounds in a row. I know it's just the pistols, but honestly, I feel like Nuke is one of the worst defenders. A lot of the time, you do get stuff done if you just go for that slightly faster play built in with trades with your pistols. But, yeah, they have at least grouped up for this one. It looked originally like they were going for a split play, but Regan instead splits them to pieces, and Emmy chimes on in 2. Chowster gets a freebie onto Fluffs as he swings with half a weapon pulled out into the gunfight. But eventually, a quick shutdown from Temperate means they get double digits, and they're not out of this horse race just yet.
Something that's interesting me, Sneaky, is that although we've seen quite a lot of outside smokes from both sides, what we haven't seen is variations of those outside smokes, which are really common in the meta that's being played on Nuke these days. We see, of course, the standard secret cross smokes are fairly normal, but a lot of teams these days are going for some slightly deeper ones. They cover the gap between garage and main and allows a player to sneak through into garage, maybe make a little lurk play, or you could get a whole team across. But look at that. They've already made it all the way down into secret. MMS aware of that. He's got the communication. The door's been blown off. As a result, 2 players already rotated down to this B site as the T hit comes in.
Emmy counted 3 on the cross. He could just about see the toes behind the smoke at MMS. Oh, he's going to capitalize in droves. In fact, it's Emmy to find the first and final 2 kills, in fact, before Regan chimes on in. And Blackhand immediately have the windows shuttered on them, and with that, only 1 round now separates our 2 teams. It's almost identical in scenario to Vertigo. 4 in a row now. If they can put that 6 together, put themselves onto 13-12, then, well, both teams will start having flashbacks, as Blackhand realised very well that they could have closed this in 2, and still very much can, but it's pistols again for them, as Temperate, well, they need to be careful here. MMS deals nicely with the early aggression, but only finds one in the end, with the smoke deployed to help them out further. Fluffs needs to find a frag here, and he will. Can he double up? Yes, he can, and that should be crisis averted for the time being, but Timo does still catch Regan with a Tech 9. Oh no, we're in a 2v2. Fraser finds Mr. Hoy. It's an AWP and an A1S on the retake, but Fluffs does find the first. Fraser in a 1v2, but this is still a very winnable post-plant situation. Gets tagged through the smoke and goes for the left angle swing. Knows he's being encroached upon from both angles, and Fluffs, the saviour of this round, ensures that it is the equaliser for Temperate. We're now at 12-12. I don't know whether we're going the distance. I don't know whether it's going to be 2-0, but either way, it's looking like we could have a second 30-rounder on our hands.
Yep, absolutely. Interesting that Fraser opts for the Deagle in that engagement. He had an M4 in his back pocket. I assume it must have been low on bullets, as he must have been aware of that.
Was that MMS's that fell off the silo?
It must have been, yeah, because he had it pulled down before it even made it all the way down into decon. So, here we find ourselves after 24 rounds of play, tied up 12-12, and back to the drawing board for the Blackhand T side. A slower approach to this one. They lay some very minimal utility down, that cross smoke that you would normally throw if you were going to cross to red. So perhaps there's the information for Temperate that there's a potential of a lurking outside player, but there's none. It's entirely inside right now as I lose my voice because I've been talking so much today. It's a slow one, is what the message I'm trying to get across.
That's all right, don't you worry. By no means has this day been a slow one. It's been a lot of fast-paced Counter-Strike action. And with a minute left on the timer here. Well, I talk about fast-paced Counter-Strike action as soon as I do. Of course it is a slow-paced round. But Blackhand now, as they execute towards the ramp side of things, aren't going to be going down to B necessarily this time, especially as MMS gives his position away. We haven't seen much of a Heaven Wrap thus far, and okay, we're not going to see a Heaven Wrap thus far.
I love this though, because of the fact that Jouster's got himself in this position tucked away. Is so commonly an overlooked position on retakes, and also he's here for the lurk positioning when the A hit comes in, as it comes in now. Fraser kicks things off with a kill going his way. Timo's position from the hut has been completely overlooked. Now the lurk will activate. He'll come from below him, and Emmy's going to be none the wiser. He jumps down into the bomb site, is able to get the first kill onto Timo, but traded out by the AWP of Dexter. Blackhand, after 5 straight rounds going the way of Temperate, they put their first T round on the board as after those lost rounds.
Well, it continues to be close. It continues to be dicey. The Tech 9 falling from heaven should never have found that frag, but an unfortunate loss of ammunition on the AK will result in another kill in favour of the retaker, but not much else comes in favour, as you said, a incredibly overlooked position from Jouster is immediately activated. You read it like a book, but unfortunately the CT side did not. Free kill, and Timo's position also able to strike with a lot of confidence, meaning that Blackhand, they've regained the lead for now. Can they follow it up with another round? It is still a buy round for the CT side. They still have a decent bit of money left over for a slimmer investment coming into the next, which means that Blackhand will not be able to rest on their laurels even if they do take this round in their stride. It will be down to another dicey investment because it will be effectively 15 if this round is won by Blackhand, or a 15-round denial, sorry, is a better way of putting it for Temperate. But Temperate, again, they're not really switching up the game. We're seeing a lot of stagnant positions, but thankfully for Emmy, picking off Fraser, a person who I was going to suggest picked up the rifle to help out the team be more versatile with, is now finding the crucial frags on the opener. But on the flip side, Fluffs does go down, and we're back into that tantalizingly titular 4v4.
Yeah, positions right now for the CT side are great in considering MMS's position in the trophy room. It means that if the side of Blackhand decide to head back over that way later on in the round, he's going to be in a position that they do not expect, and definitely good for a couple of frags. But they head towards A. MMS is now key on the retake, but Hoy swinging out from the back of the bomb site isn't good for a kill. MMS, his position, the forward flank.
Oh, they've seen him!
He's not able to get the bomb planter, and Zulu shuts it out with the headshot. No way. Once again, the position is fine, but the shot is not. and now Blackhand are a shoo-in for this 2-0 victory, Sneaky.
Oh, how many more facepalm moments are we going to get from Temperate today? Shout out to my main man MMS back on Vertigo. A crucial round in which he whiffs a 3K where they had no idea where he was on the B stairs. And, well, now looking at the scenario we've been plunged into again, I, in fact, overestimated their buy. I thought they would have got a couple more kills in the scenario they were given. Blackhand even managed to get the bomb plant with half a second to go. But now at, just the crossroads, we need to see a win round here from Temperate.
Yeah.
But with the 5-7 on M&S...
M&S? Marks and Spencers? When did they join?
Oh, for goodness sake. With Percy Pig on the rifle. So, okay, I've lost all trail of thought, but Emmy's also lost all trace of rounds as the rounds of that AWP fire straight into the concrete wall behind the aggressing T's. Blackhand have good presence towards Squeaky here, then even better towards the A bomb site as the execute will come in. Plus, the same position that the round was lost from last time somehow picks up that double. Fraser trades things back though, 4v3, make that 3v2 as the frags, they keep on flying.
Yes.
The FAMAS and the AWP do exactly what's needed, and Temperate again recover things as this series keeps going back and forth. Oh, and up. Oh dear. Sorry. The production is shoving Colin the Caterpillar references in my face. As well, if we don't get a lawsuit soon, Aldi are keeping M&S occupied.
Honestly, just burn the whole place down after this is over, because at least then we destroy the evidence, right?
Good lord, evidence of what?
Evidence of our mess ups, eh? Anyway, the point I was going to make was the fact that Emmy and the rest of the Temperate boys, it was a do or die round for them in that situation, right? If they had lost that one, then they would have been in a situation where there wouldn't have even been enough to get some decent upgraded pistols. Thank God they won that, because although the game wouldn't have been over specifically, it would have been over.
It was over.
Exactly.
It would have not been an ethical fight, you know?
Not at all. It would have been a very one-sided affair in the last round, but instead it's Blackhand whose economy is in an interesting spot. Fluffs going straight into lobby through the heart without a care in the world, takes down Joust there but immediately traded, and now the hit into the inner bump site comes in. Hoy's done a great job of the site defense. Regan's rotation into heaven has got a kill onto Dexter as well, and now Fraser thrust into the 1 versus 3, is able to pick up 2 kills. Regan hits the ground, and now this round could get interesting. The Molotov's perfect. It blocks out that line of sight for the time being, but now they're still hanging around. We can see we've got a player in the heavens for the CT side and one in the hut, and I wonder, will MMS peak off in time for the reaction here? Fraser has to figure this one out in his mind. He's got to be thinking to himself, I know where one player is, but I have no idea where the second is. He's gone for the fake vent drop. The reaction is good, but Temperate, they're able to get the kill. Emmy creeps on out, not taking the bait, just he didn't make a sound cue, and he's able to put Temperate up to the 14-14 mark, as we do see another pause being called. I'm going to say that this is a Blackhand pause, Sneaky.
I would assume so too. I mean, as they go window shopping at the house of Fraser, they get what they came for, and they find 14-14. But, yeah, both teams won't be heading to the bar just yet. Things continue to heat up as it's another equalised scoreline with only 2 rounds left of regulation. And, well, I honestly could not tell you which way this is going to swing. We've got a gun round, a full buy round to decide the 29th, and I wouldn't want it any other way. Either team that loses this is going to be put in a tantalising predicament, but Blackhand, they do have full loss bonus now, which will be a saving grace should the need come around.
Again, a similar positioning in the early stages of the round from the Blackhand side. They throw a very minimal bit of utility outside, and then they hold the lobby position. They're expecting some sort of aggression from the CT side of Temperate. Perhaps they go hunting for information into lobby as they lose some outside. But Temperate, by this stage in the half, they're going to be wise to this sort of early round play, which is why we see very minimal early engagements going down, just utility damage being traded back and forth, and maybe a little bit of a spam through this hut wall does tend to come through on the odd occasion. And it's back toward the ramp play. The timing perhaps bad for MMS, but it's okay. Emmy's here in support. The trades do go back in favour of Blackhand, though. They've got control of ramp. They're headed down to this lower bomb site, and you can see we've already got a player here from the Temperate side in position to react off the back of it. Timo's got plenty of information as to the retaking players coming from the ramp side. He's hearing these shots, he's hearing these steps, but to his knowledge, there's only one player on this side, and that's all the information that he can communicate for the time being. Hoy needs to be careful because he's playing
Timo.
with fire, but they look away at the last second, deciding to position themselves in the bomb site. Jouster's got the kill onto the rotation of Regan, and the Fluffs and Mr. Hoy with their work cut out for them in this situation. Jouster unable to get the kill onto the jumping Fluffs, and this position,
God, it's
they're
a
sticking
ninja!
a bomb,
There's
and
no
Hoy's
way!
able to get the defuse, the unexpected defuse from the side of Temperate, nets them their 15th round. Another pause called. This time is a technical, as we've lost a Blackhand player, as you can see over on the left-hand side of your screen. Hopefully we can get that one back in as soon as possible, but this is not the time for this sort of thing to be happening.
Oh, he's just punched his monitor off the desk. That's why we're calling a timeout, surely. That is unreal. How the hell do they let a ninja defuse slip under their noses like that? They knew exactly where both of the retakers were. They're coming from ramp. You just needed eyes on, but they kept the Dark player so distracted that they don't check where the smoke lands, and with that, the defuse comes in. They catch the swinging player, but the swinging player was a decoy over long. They just narrowly avoid collateraling the diffuser, and with that, Temperate, I don't know how the hell they've done it, but they've just scraped things back into their favour on their own map pick of Nuke. That's 3 in a row for the CT side now, but as I said, the loss bonus would afford us another full, well, actually, I say full buy round. Look at the economy of Temperate. They lose so many players in the process that it's an MP9, it's another bloody FAMAS, and Blackhand, they stand a strong chance of taking this one to an overtime. But will they have the mentality to do so? But Fluffs, oh my goodness, what a time to be pulling out lobby aggression, but thankfully for him, does not get cut down, as the MP9's not really the weapon for that kind of ranged affair. Jouster flashing round the corner. Will force away, said MP9 once more, but Blackhand, they congregate towards the back of lobby, and with that, they slow the pace.
So this round did play out slightly differently for the first 30 seconds than we've seen previously. They did throw the outside smokes to initiate some sort of fake on that secret cross. Now, with a few seconds past, they look to head back outside once again. This time, these are the deeper smokes I was talking about earlier. They've gone for the straight creep, but Temperate, they want to fight. This kill's not going their way. Fraser with 2, Zulu with 1. The flash was just too late as those CTs go flying through the smoke. Regan's in a good position though, however, because Blackhand, they're second-guessing themselves right now. They're thinking we could head into the A bomb site. Regan cuts down Fraser on his rotation, so at least evens the odds very slightly.
But they've got full info now.
Yeah, absolutely. They heard MMS open the door in the lower site. MMS flies up the vents, a little bit too over-keen from him, perhaps. And Regan, an ace clutch required from the man if Temperate want to take it here and now. But more than likely, Sneaky will be seeing overtime here.
Yeah, and Regan,
no.
under the pressure, absolutely melts as he's tickled by his own Molotov. They've been given the sound cue. They've been given an exact sonar radius of where he could be standing, throws a grenade in, but instead gets led in the head in return. It is 15-15. We will be going to an overtime, and the second map still in heated contention. Can Blackhand recover from their woes and steal back Temperate's map pick despite the more dominant start?
I'm just going to take a second to breathe.
That's okay.
Because I feel like this has been intense, and today has been a long day, to say the least. So just a deep breath in and a deep breath out.
Our yoga instructor and Daffod is directing us to inhale, to
Hold on.
calmly. No, there's no time for calm. Timo straight back into the action. Regan finds another bit of lead in the back of his head as Emmy has to trade, but instead it's Zulu catching him on the wrong angle at the wrong time. And in the 5v3 for Blackhand, Jouster makes it even worse, but Mr. Hoy, he keeps on biting. Bluffs again, back down to the 2v2. as there is still hope for the CT side. They're going through the vents, so they're not fully committing to B. And as soon as I say that, the bomb does go down of a lower site, but it's Zulu to hold the vents. Instead of the vents, though, it will be Fluffs and Mr. Hoyt keeping together, going down secret, and bagging themselves as strong of a chance as possible of taking this retake in their stride. They just need to clear Zulu here, and then they can pick up the pace.
Yeah, this is a game of timings here. Zulu's picked an angle that he thinks they're headed in, and he's picked the exact correct one. Mr. Hoy, not expecting the positioning from Zulu, will be the man to hit the ground, but Fluffs was not spotted there on the cross. I believe he's made noise, and now dropping the smoke, doesn't consider Fraser's position, and Blackhand, they take the first round of overtime.
Yeah, you can't really go for another ninja. It only works once, especially when there's a guy sitting there waiting for that exact play. They've learnt from their mistakes on the side of Blackhand. And in all fairness to them, their post-plants have been considerably better on Nuke. It's just Temperate have also been a lot more competitive in a lot of the retake scenarios. Now, Regan, spamming early doors. Quite literally, a squeaky is shot on through, but it is to no real avail. And Nade does do a bit of chip damage to Timo, but Emmy unable to catch. Fraser misses the shot as well, and the callback ensures that Fraser catches a headshot, but MMS and Mr. Hoy, they're not going to go down without a fight, but one of them does go down. That's Dexter on the AWP, continuing to cause havoc. Been a little bit quiet for the time being, but does finally find some more impact to his name as Mr. Hoy creeps in from the vent angle. They double up again, but the Molotovs are ferocious. They keep them delayed. In fact, it's 2 Molotovs to stop them, and already tick damage her. But plus, oh my goodness, it's a formidable kill. It's the bomb carrier, but Dexter and Timo, they find a crossfire, find the round, and that's 17-15 to Blackhand on their T side of Nuke, and they are looking to still take this 2-0, send themselves to the consolidation final. And my goodness, Blackhand were meant to be up there in the upper bracket, in the final, with relative ease up against all these random mixes. But they are struggling down here. But this might be their time to finally push back.
I like the heads-up decision making there from Fluffs. He noticed that the smoke on the double doors was thrown a little bit too short. Off the back of it, reacts and gets the kill on the planter. But unfortunately, there wasn't, you know, that sort of cohesion between him and his teammate. The reaction wasn't quite there. And now, Blackhand with a 2-round lead in overtime. If they can put a 30 round on the board here, then they've put themselves in a great position to take this map.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if Blackhand get 3 T rounds, I think this game is already over. Temperate, they have had their struggles on the T side. It was a 9-6 half, I seem to remember. And as much as they do get the opening 5 rounds in a row, this isn't the opening 5 rounds anymore. There's no gimmicky pistols. I believe this is a 12.5k overtime. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Looking at the cash, 2 rounds of play. No, surely not.
10k overtime? Can I get any confirmation from the desk? No idea. But regardless of it, it's still going to be a very competitive 3rd round of this overtime. Everyone can afford the buy. Apologies for the misinformation. But either way, Blackhand, with that 2-round lead, they still look incredibly strong to take it. And as I said, it's a guaranteed win. I've cursed it now if they can put 3 on the board. But Regan cuts Timo down early, looking to deny what seemed to be inevitable. And Temperate, yeah, they've still got a chance here.
A necessary start for Temperate there, getting the opening frag that they needed. And it's up to them now to maintain this man advantage. We've seen them in an advantageous position plenty of times in this game, and they've let it slip away due to maybe a poor rotation, an overlooked angle, or a missed shot. Whatever it may come down to, this is the time to show up and make sure that you're everything about your game plan is solid here. We can see that we've got a T-sided player in the form of Zulu, already found himself in decontamination, but I think there's a CT sat right above him in the form of MMS. In fact, there is. The door now open, the sound cue now made. MMS is going to convey that information over to his teammates, but the Fluff has been caught on his rotation. Regan good for another kill of the round, a second for him, but Fraser answers right back. Hoy dropping into the flames, takes down Zulu, but traded right back. The 2 versus 2 is still anyone's game, and MMS in position. He's making sound cues. Emmy reacts perfectly off of that. The bait and switch is absolutely amazing, and Fraser, the in-game leader, the most experienced player on the squad, is called upon, and he gets the double spray down. Blackhand on 18, one away from taking the series and booking their place in that grand finals.
33 to 25. Leading the charge for this Blackhand side, and by God, what a way to finish the first half of overtime. Blackhand, they are fighting strong, and Temperate, oh my God, the BM in that LAN hall right now must be unbearable. The heat will already be causing problems, the exhaustion yet another, to have the final best of 3 slot of the day, a brutal carnage-filled gunfight. Oh, it's everything going against them now. As I said, I don't think Temperate can do it. I don't think they can claw back 3T rounds. But again, it's Regan to open up, just as he did in the previous round. But the previous round was still a loss. Entries, they do mean a lot in this game, but unless you can convert them, then they are worthless.
Insane that Fraser is able to win that 1v2 situation, gets the spray down, and I was hyping him up to be the man of this squad. He's the top fragger, he's the in-game leader, and he is doing absolute work here in this second map here. And he's doing everything in his power to make sure that Blackhand make it to the grand finals, because I do truly think that they deserve to make it there. A flash into the door. Regan with his second kill of the round. He's shown up in the later stages of this game, and it seems like every time we start to doubt Temperate a little bit, Regan shows up in a big way. There's the entries, there's the execute onto the A bomb site. All the kills go the way of the T side of Temperate, and not a single frag for the Blackhand CT side. Temperate, they swap over sides, they wake up a little bit, and they remember that this game is not said and done yet. We may still be headed to a map 3.
Yeah, I can always stand corrected. We've seen it many a time before. If you fans of UKCS are familiar with my recent tirades into the breach, well, they've proved me wrong on more than one occasion. Now Zulu, well, he's looking to finally end my cursed streak. But unfortunately, no damage dealt thus far, instead taking 18 in return. It's a big grenade, but it falls just a bit too far of Mr. Hoy. He walks ahead of it, and that's good positioning from him. Zulu, he definitely expects it around the edge of the smoke, but he's not going to get aggressive enough to really find a frag here. Instead, readjust his position to the close vent angle. And with that timer, still plenty of time left on it. Temperate can afford to take their time here.
Yeah. A change of pace once again here. They go slow in the early stages of this round. Temperate now laying down the outside smokes, but not playing off the back of them. I believe, looking at the radar, they've gone for the deep ones, but there's a missed smoke. Fraser in a perfect position to convey the information over to the rest of his team that there's nobody crossing. Now the upper bomb site has been buffed completely. Timo in a great position. An entry for Fluffs is crucial, but all the kills go back in favour of Blackhand CT side. Emmy, the last man up to the plate. AWP in hand in a 1 versus 4 with the back against the wall. What can you really expect from the man here? He's burning down crucial seconds. Able to get the first kill onto a heavy hitter of Fraser, but with 3 players staring down the barrel in his direction and 15 seconds now to work with, surely this is not a winnable situation for Emmy. Swapped out to the AK, and I like the decision making, but the time's too far ticked down. He can't get it done, and Blackhand, they drag this one kicking and screaming across the line. They have booked their spot, so well deserved in those grand finals. They will go up against Em's kids.
Consolidation finals.
Consolidation
finals. That's the game we got tomorrow morning.
Oh,
the 9 AM slot. That's going to be a fun one to wake up for. If I can't drag you out of bed for a 10, I think a 9 will be even harder. harder.
Oh, no.
But ladies and gentlemen, I mean, what a way to finish. That could have been a 2-0 series for either team, but just clinching it in the end was, of course, the side of Blackcan. And Temperate, they will be having their heads in their hands for a long time after that one. I feel like the bar will be doing good business here, drowning the sorrow of such an unfortunate outcome. But, well, speaking of the bar, Blackhand have certainly raised it coming into what will be a tough consolidation finals. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what more Counter-Strike action will be delivered to us tomorrow. But in the meantime, let's just very quickly reflect on the 2 maps we've seen so far. Would you like to run us through that first map?
Not really, would you?
Oh, yeah, go on then.
I'm joking. Yes, of course. So first map was, of course, the map pick of the Blackhand side. They started with a quite large disadvantage on their T side, right? Going
8-1, I think.
Yeah, something like that. And they end up coming all the way back once the sides flip over. They take that one in a very close fashion. 16-13, am I correct in saying?
16-14. It went the
16-14
distance.
went the whole distance there. Both maps delivering in a big way. Headed over to the other side's map pick. In fact, Temperate, they did a great job in the early stages.
Yeah, 5-0 lead on the T side.
Yeah, they did. And then once again, they bounce back on the Blackhand side. They are kings of the comeback. It does go to a very sketchy overtime, but their T-side rounds in that overtime really solidified things for them there, and they were able to drag it, like we say, kicking and screaming literally across the line. I wish I was in that room next door because we could definitely hear the screams if we were. UKCS always delivers in a chaotic fashion. It's always entertaining regardless. And that's the end of our second day here in the CSGO tournament at EPIC LAN. And as you say, we're looking forward to being back tomorrow morning, bright and early, for those consolidation finals.
Yeah, it'll be a good start. But consolidation finals aside, tomorrow will be a fantastic day of Counter-Strike regardless. EMPS are waiting to see who will be joining them in that grand finals, and a stunner of a team they are. Can they redefeat Blackcan? Well, we'll have to find out after this break of about 12 hours. We'll see you then. And, well, hope you have a good night rest first, and don't go too crazy at the bar to all the CS players out there. From myself, Sneaky, and from Icon, we hope you enjoyed the show, but otherwise, have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Hello, Overclockers, and welcome. Screw this. Where's EPIC when you need him?